Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Preeti and I'm back with another lecture in the DBMS series. So in the last lecture we learned about database recovery management. In this particular video we would be learning about query optimization as well as file organization in DBMS. So without any further ado, let's get started. Now what is this query optimization and why do we even need it? So whenever we want to improve the efficiency of our query, make it execute faster and consume fewer resources, we use the query optimization techniques. So whenever we want to increase the efficiency of our query, make our query to execute faster and give results in faster time. And whenever we want to consume some fewer resources of our system, we use this query optimization technique. So consider if there is an employee table, and in that particular table we have some employee details such as employee ID, employee name, employee age, and much more fields. Now consider that this employee table has 1000 records. And in that 1000 record, I make a query that give me the details of employee whose employee ID is 990. So I want to fetch the detail of employee whose employee ID is 990. So it will go ahead and it will do a search on the employee ID and it will see row by row that wherever EID matches 990, it will return the entire result of this particular row. But this query may take some time. And consider that in real scenario, our employee table has 1 lakh or 10 lakh plus records, right? So for that, we need to make our queries to execute faster so that we can get the faster result. That is why we use the query optimization techniques. So optimizing SQL queries is essential for improving the performance of database application. So whenever we want to improve the performance of our database application, we need to optimize our SQL queries and we can use the query optimization techniques there. So let's see what are the common techniques which we use. So first one is use indexes efficiently. So index the column frequently used in where, join, order by, group by clauses to speed up the data retrieval. Now what is this indexing? Indexing is basically a technique in which we lower down the number of disk access which was being used earlier. So it lowered down the number of disk access because of which the queries gives us the result in faster duration of time. For now, if you're not understanding indexing, don't worry, we'll be having a dedicated lecture on indexing and types of indexing. There the concepts would be clear. But for now, you can only understand that whenever we are doing any group by, where, order by clauses, it's better to use the indexed columns there to get the faster result. Now coming to the second point, that is select only necessary columns. So avoid using select star, especially only the columns you need in your query. This reduces the amount of data transferred and processed. So most of the cases we use the select star to fetch some of the details. But if we know that we have to fetch only some specific columns, it's better to provide the columns rather than providing a select star which will go ahead and fetch all the details or all the attributes which is present for that particular employee or for that particular XYZ entity. So we should take care that if we want only specific columns, it's better to use that particular columns with the select statement rather than using the select star. Now coming to the third point, that is optimize join operations. So choose the right join type and use indexed columns in the join condition. Now what is join? So basically in join what we do is consider if there are two tables A and B and I want some details from A as well as B table, I'll perform a join operation between them on the basis of a common entities or you can say common attribute which is common between both the tables. Now it says that whenever you are performing the join operation, always take care that you choose the right join type. And second thing, if you are joining on basis of some column, always make sure that that particular column is an indexed column so that the number of disk access lower down and we can get the queries result faster. So we perform join whenever we want some related rows of different tables and on the basis of parameter or on the basis of a related column on which we are joining, that should be indexed. Now coming to the fourth point, that is partitioning large tables. So for very large tables, consider partitioning them to improve the query performance. Partitioning allows the database management system to scan only relevant partition, reducing input-output cost and improving the response time. So it says that if your database is too big, so partition that into smaller chunks and then make a query on that smaller chunks so that you can get the result faster. It will reduce the input output cost as well as the response time. Now coming to the fifth point, that is cache the results. So cache the results of frequently executed queries to avoid the redundant calculations. Says if there is any query which is getting executed as part of different API calls, so it's better to call a cache rather than calling a DB because calling to the DB may take more time, but if the response is stored in the cache for consider X duration of time for the similar query, it's better to call the cache so that we can get the result faster and also we can avoid some redundant calculations. So let's learn about physical storage and file organization. So what is a storage device? For storing the data, there are different types of storage operations which is available. So storage device basically help us to store the data. Now what are all the options which are available? So first one is primary storage, second is secondary, and third one is tertiary. Now coming to primary storage. So it is basically the main memory and the cache memory. It is fastest, it is expensive, and as soon as the system leads to a power cut or crash, the data also gets lost. So data is only stored in the system until or unless there is a system crash or power failure. After that, the data is lost. Now coming to secondary storage, it consists of flash memory and magnetic disk storage, which is non-volatile. Non-volatile basically means that it saves the result even after there is a system crash or you can say power failure. So it stores the data permanently, and this is volatile because it loses the data once there is a power failure or system crash. Now coming to the tertiary storage, so it basically involves optical disk and magnetic tape. It is used for data backup and storing large data offline. So whenever you want to store large data, you use this tertiary storage. Whenever you want to store the data permanently, you use this volatile or you can say secondary storage. And whenever you want to store data for some duration, you can use this primary storage. Although primary storage is the fastest, but it is also expensive. Now databases store data in files on disk. So there are some disk which is present. You can say hard disk. In that disk, there are some files in which the data is stored. So each table or index may correspond to one or more files. Each file has a sequence of record. So each file consists of some sequence of record. Now accessing data from RAM is much faster than accessing data from a hard disk or SSD. So what happens is there is a CPU which access some data from the hard disk or from the SSD. But CPU is very fast and this hard disk or SSD is very slow. So it's better that CPU don't make a direct query to the hard disk. It go to the RAM and RAM makes a query to the hard disk so that this particular process is streamlined. So here you can see this is because RAM is designed for high speed read and write operation. Data retrieval in RAM typically involve fetching data in nanoseconds. So in RAM you can fetch the data in nanoseconds. So CPU makes the queries to the RAM and RAM checks if it has the desired result. If it doesn't has, it goes to the hard disk, it takes the blocks and it does the query checks if it has the desired results or not. Now RAM provides fast volatile memory for quick data retrieval. So volatile here means that after a system crash or failure, the data will be lost. Now data is accessed via addressable location and cache memory enhances speed. So the cache memory enhances the speed and data retrieval is done based on the addressable location. Now what is hard disk? So it provides a slower non-volatile storage with mechanical components that impact the access speed. So since CPU can't do a access on the hard disk itself or can't do a query on the hard disk itself, it goes via RAM because RAM is very fast and hard disk is comparatively slow. So data retrieval involves moving the read-write head and waiting for the disk rotation. So data retrieval basically involves moving the read-write head and waiting for the disk rotation. Now, when a program or application needs to access data, it first checks if the data is available in the RAM. If the data is not available in the RAM, it must be loaded from a slower storage device like hard disk or SSD. Index file in database management system are stored on the disk but are also managed in RAM to optimize the performance. Let's see that when we give query, how we get our results back. So here the query is fetch the detail of the student whose roll number is equal to 5. So there is a student table which is present and I want to fetch the detail of a student whose roll number is 5. So how the query will be executing? So firstly, the student table would be present in the hard disk because hard disk is a non-volatile memory. So it will save the data even if there is a system crash or failure. So it will save the data permanently. So we'll store this particular table in the hard disk. Now inside the table there are multiple records. So we store this particular records in some blocks. So there are blocks like B1, B2, B3 till Bn. So there are a couple of blocks in our hard disk and in each block we store some data. Consider in this block we are storing from 1 to 5 roll number, then from 5 to 10, then from 10 to 15. In all these blocks we store all these particular records. Now what will happen once the CPU receives the query? It will make a call to the RAM. it will say that I want the detail of a student whose roll number is 5. Now RAM will call the hard disk, and hard disk will give all the blocks one by one, like first B1 is given, then B2, then B3, and in this blocks it will search that if there is any student with roll number 5 existing. Once it finds the student with roll number 5 existing, it will take up all the details and it will give it back to the CPU, and then we can get the desired result. So this is how it functions. We use the RAM because the access is very fast, and this is a volatile memory, so it won't be staying so long, like after the system failure or a switch. This is how the query execution happens. Whenever we give a query, it goes to the CPU. Now CPU makes the call to the RAM makes the call to the hard disk. Each and every block is transferred one by one, and it checks in the block that if the query satisfies. When it checks that if the query has satisfied, it gives away the processed result. So how files is organized? So here you can see that there is a hard disk and there is a DB, or you can say table. Now in this hard disk there would be multiple blocks, B1, B2, B3 till Bn. Now in this particular block B1, how much data of this particular table could be stored? How we can find that? So files are basically allocated on the hard disk in a contiguous blocks to reduce the fragmentation. Now number of records stored in each block is equal to size of block divided by the size of. So consider if there are 10 records here and size of each block is 100. So what we will do is we'll do 100 divided by 10, that is size of block divided by size of record. So it is 10. So in each block we can store at least 10 records. So this is how we find that in each block how many records we can store. So records can be stored in two ways. First is sorted way, searching is fast. Second is unsorted way, where searching is slow and insertion is fast. So we can store the data in a sorted or unsorted manner. In sorted manner the searching will be fast. In unsorted manner the searching will be slow, but the insertion would be fast. So this is how we can optimize our query and organize the files in our system. So this was all about this video. I hope you like this video. So if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you're someone who is new to my channel, can go ahead and watch out the tech content first. And if you find it useful, can go ahead and subscribe. Also, if you have not followed me on my social media handles, you can go ahead and follow. The links are in the description. Till then, take care, keep learning, keep growing, keep smiling. Bye all.